Hello candidates, and welcome back to the lesson. The subject is Advanced Public Financial Management. In our today's lesson, we're going to study the principles and objectives of public finance. Principles of public finance. And the principles of public finance are clearly laid down in chapter 12 of the Constitution, which I'm going to read. Article 201 of chapter 12 reads, "The following principles shall guide all aspects of public finance in the Republic." The first principle is openness and accountability. It reads, "There shall be openness and accountability." So there are two things you are studying in today's lesson, principles and objectives. We begin with the principles. One is openness. There shall be openness and accountability. Openness and accountability, including public participation in financial matters. There shall be openness and accountability, including public participation in financial matters. Including public participation in financial matters. Then the Constitution goes on to read that the public finance system shall promote equitable society, and in particular, the burden of taxation shall be shared fairly, revenue raised nationally shall be shared equitably among national and county governments, and 3, expenditure shall promote the equitable development of the county, including by making special provision for marginalized groups. So that is equitable society. The public finance system shall promote an equitable society. The public finance system shall promote equitable society. Shall promote equitable society. And the Constitution goes ahead to state how the society can, how that happens. The public financial system shall promote an equitable society. It goes on to say, 1, the burden of taxation shall be shared fairly. That is a principle, explaining how an equitable society is made possible. It's possible to have an equitable society where the burden of taxation is shared fairly. That means everyone should be taxed fairly. There should be no people being taxed, others are not being taxed. All right? There has to be equity. It goes on to say that revenue raised nationally shall be shared equitably among national and county governments. The revenue that is collected from the citizens should be shared equitably between the national government and the county governments. Equitable society. C, the burdens and benefits of the use of resources and public borrowing shall be shared equitably between the present and future generations. Burdens and benefits. So there are two things here. Burdens and benefits. Burdens and benefits of the use of resources and public borrowing shall be shared equitably. Benefits of the use of resources and public borrowing of the use of resources and public borrowing shall be shared equitably between the current and future generations. So, candidates, resources, these are two things here, resources and borrowing. Public resources and borrowing. These public resources and borrowing come at a cost. All right? There are burdens and benefits of use of resources. There are burdens of use of resources, which is a cost. Then there are benefits of use of resources. There are also burdens of borrowing. There are benefits of borrowing. So these burdens and benefits shall be shared equitably between the current generations, the current generation and the future generation. There are those of us who are alive today, and in the course of making use of the resources, we need to take into account the future generations. We should not exhaust resources to the detriment of those who are yet to be born. So there ought to be equity. All right, these resources should be shared equitably. Between the current generation and the future generation. That is a principle on public finance when making use of resources. And these are the resources that we have and the resources that we borrow. So the resources that we borrow, we should not use them. Then when it comes to paying, the future generation to pay, we should not borrow now. If we borrow now, we should also share the cost of borrowing now. But if future generations are to pay part of the borrowings that we are, the money that we are borrowing today, then they should also enjoy the benefits of the same resources that we are borrowing. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying or what the Constitution says. Currently, we are enjoying resources here in Kenya. We have natural resources, forests, animals, land. All those are resources. They are benefits. So, like forests, all right, we should not enjoy or use these resources to the detriment of future generations. For example, we are not allowed to say cut trees, deforestation, because when you cut trees, we convert them into timber, into furniture, and so on. And that, you see, deforestation has a negative impact on the environment, which can negatively impact future generations. So you are supposed to use resources equitably so that we don't disadvantage future generations. Moving on, candidates, public money shall be used in a prudent and responsible way. Public money shall be used in a prudent way. Public money shall be used in a prudent and responsible. Public money is not personal money. Those who have been entrusted the responsibility to manage public money ought to do so prudently and responsibly because they hold that money on behalf of the public. So public money shall be used in a responsible and a prudent way. shall be used in a prudent and responsible way. Then number 5, financial management shall be responsible and fiscal reporting shall be clear. Financial management. Financial management shall be responsible and fiscal reporting shall be clear. And fiscal reporting shall be clear. Financial management shall be responsible and fiscal reporting shall be clear. All right? These are how many principles? 5 principles of public finance as laid down by the Article 201 of the Constitution. I've been reading directly from the Constitution. Then let's have a look at the objectives of public finance. Objectives of public finance. The first objective is to enhance collection, accounting, and reporting of public revenues. Enhance the collecting of revenues, accounting, and reporting of public revenue. The first objective of public financial management is to enhance collecting, accounting, and reporting of public revenue in the national and county governments in line with the macroeconomic fiscal policies. B, ensure what we call participatory, effective, and equitable allocation of public funds in line with the national and county government priorities. To ensure participatory, effective, equitable allocation. Ensure, I repeat, participatory, to ensure participatory, effective, and equitable allocation of public resources. There ought to be public participation. The allocation of resources should be effective and also equitable. These are the national and county government priorities in line with the national and county government priorities. 3 is to ensure efficient and effective budget utilization. Ensure effective and efficient budget utilization. To ensure effective and efficient budget utilization, also accurate and timely accounting and reporting, as well as effective scrutiny and review of expenditure of public resources. To ensure accountability, of public resources, Accountability comes with what we call scrutiny or oversight, and also effective and lawfulness in the allocation, the collection, and application of public funds. And these candidates we covered in the lower level, public finance, when we looked at the budget making process at the county government, budget making process at the national government. We looked at the role that the Commission on Revenue Allocation plays in the budget making process. We studied the role of the Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury, the role that he plays in the budget making process. We studied the role of the intergovernmental budgetary and economic council that is headed by the Deputy President. We saw the role that it plays in financial management. We studied the role of the controller of budget, which includes ensuring that there is proper implementation of the budget. All those parties are part of the public financial system. They play a major role in the public financial management. These are bodies, parties, institutions that have been established and in the Public Finance Management Act to ensure that there is accountability of public resources, to ensure that there is proper budget utilization, there is accurate and timely accounting. We studied in the budget making process where the parties, the public entities are required to adhere to strict timelines in the process of preparing the budget. So the objective of public finance is to ensure accountability of public resources, to ensure oversight, effectiveness, and also lawfulness in the collection and application of public funds. Before funds are allocated, before funds are withdrawn from the consolidated fund, there are procedures that have been laid down by the public finance management on who should authorize and who should approve and so on. Do you understand? E, we are studying the objectives of public finance. E is to ensure or to establish and implement a framework for fiscal decentralization and to facilitate timely disbursements and efficient delivery of services in a transparent and accountable manner. To do what? To establish and implement. Establish and implement a framework. All right? To establish and implement a framework for fiscal decentralization. Decentralization. And the purpose for establishing and implementing a framework for fiscal decentralization is to facilitate timely disbursements and efficient delivery of services in a transparent and accountable manner. All right. Moving on to point number 6 is to develop a consistent and a harmonized public financial management legal and institutional framework. To institute, to develop a consistent consistent and harmonized. To develop a consistent and harmonized public financial management legal system or framework. A legal and institutional framework. Another objective of public finance management is to automate and integrate public finance management systems which facilitate efficient and effective execution of all financial management processes, which would eliminate risks and also enhance security and financial controls in all service areas, including interconnectivity of count units. There is also a point on coordination to ensure effective coordination, effective and efficient coordination. This is very important. To ensure efficient and effective coordination, planning, monitoring, communication, and also implementation of public finance management activities. Now, the reason why I say this is very important is because the government is a very large institution with very many public entities. The government is required to provide many services, medical services, education, water, utilities, and so on. Is a large, in fact, the largest institution. And these institutions ought to work to achieve common goals. That is service delivery to the citizens. And these entities, these people who work in the government, the public servants, they need to be coordinated. There is a lot of planning that is required, a lot of monitoring that is required. There ought to be communication between government departments, between counties, sub-counties. We have administration, the cabinet, we have the institutions within the judiciary, we have institutions within the legislature, and so on. And we have very many people working in the government. So there is need to have efficient and effective coordination of all these institutions, of all these parties. There ought to be efficient planning, monitoring, and implementation of public finance management activities. So that is one objective of public finance management, to ensure effective and efficient coordination. So the objectives are many. I've listed 7 objectives. I've given 5 principles of public finance. I read from chapter 12 of the Constitution, and that will mark the end of the lesson. We've been studying the principles of public finance management. Here is your assignment. summarize 5 principles and 7 objectives of public finance management. Thank you. I'll see you in our next lesson where we continue to share knowledge in public financial management. Bye-bye.